Good day everyone. I will be discussing about the first mass in the Philippines. This event is one of the most significant events that happened in our Philippine history. However, this became one of the most controversial issue because a lot of people are keep arguing or debating about where was really the actual site of the first mass here in the Philippines. It is very important for us to know where the site of the first Mass was conducted because through this, we learn to appreciate the first Holy Mass that marked the birth of Roman Catholicism and paved the way of Christianity not only in our country but almost this whole world. So, without further ado, let's proceed to the real discussion. The first recorded Christian Mass was held on Easter Sunday, March 31, 1521 at a little island port named Mazawa. Two identical accounts report this event by eyewitness Antonio Pigafetta and Antonio de Herrera y Tordesillas. Mazawa is a word found only in Butuanon and its sayon tausug out of 181 Philippine languages. It means brilliant light and crystal clear. Some Filipino historians have long contested the idea that Limasawa was the site of the first Catholic Mass in the country. Historian Sonia Zaide identified Masao, also Mazawa, in Butuan as the location of the first Christian Mass. The basis of Zaide's claim is the diary of Antonio Pigafetta, Chronicle of Magellan's Voyage. On March 31, 1521, Easter Sunday, Spanish friar Pedro Valderrama conducted the first Catholic Mass in Limasawa, Leyte. Raja Kulambu, who forged a blood compact of friendship with Magellan 2 days earlier, attended along with Raja Siago. Salazar, 2015, refuted that the first Mass on Easter was not a biblical festival not practiced in the Book of Acts. The original New Testament church, which started on the day of Pentecost in 31 D or CE as described in Acts, did not observe the Mass. And now, here are 4 sites in which some people used to believe that these places were the actual site of first Mass in the Philippines. And here is the first one, the Limasawa Island in southern Leyte. The Philippine government and the powerful Roman Catholic Church recognized Limasawa Island as the site where Magellan and his crew landed and held the first Mass. Also, the Embassy of Spain recognized Limasawa as the site of Magellan's landfall, such that they also sent Galleon Andalusia to visit Maasin City for 5 days in Limasawa for about 3 hours. The Embassy of Portugal and Metro Manila recognized Limasawa as the Mazawa, which Pigafetta wrote about as the island where Magellan and his troops observed the first Mass on Easter or introduced Christianity to the island's inhabitants. And here is the second one, Masao or Mazawa in Butuan City, Agusan del Norte. The Butuanons and their supporters advocate that Magellan and his men landed in Mazawa for the reason that it has the encouraged rice fields, gold, antique, balanghay, and other articrafts which they unearthed in scattered areas in Butuan City. It is so-called Magellan's Harbor in Butuan, the real harbor for the cargo and passenger ships traveling to and departing from Butuan City is actually in Nasipit, which is 25 kilometers west of Mazawa. The pro-Butuan proponents claim that Magellan and his troops landed in Mazawa, Butuan City because Pigafetta wrote in his logbook about the small gift items made of gold supposedly from Butuan which Raja Kulambu gave to Magellan. Magellan and his sailors could have sailed easily to Surigao, Mindanao while they were still sailing off the eastern coast of Panaon Island. Surigao was known to have gold at that time and up to the present today. Magellan and his men in 3 ships did not search for spices only. They searched for anything or things of value to bring home and hand over to the King of Spain. Third one, Homonhon Island, Eastern Samar. Some people in Homonhon Island and Samar also claim that Magellan and his fellow sailors must have some kind of religious festivity shortly after they landed on the island. Magellan's troops had a terrible experience after they landed in Guam. which they called Las Islas de los Ladrones, the island of the thieves. So, according to the group of people supporting that the first mass was to happen in Homonhon Island, Magellan and his sailors had the first mass on the island to thank God for their safe trip from Guam and the vast of Pacific Ocean. And lastly, the Mahaba Island in Surigao del Norte. Another group of people in northeastern Mindanao claimed that Magellan's expedition actually had the first mast. During that time, Magellan was using an astrolabe to determine his latitude location, and the accuracy of this instrument was plus or minus 1 degree. Magellan could have mistaken Mahaba Island, a small island, to be a part of Masipilid Island because it is almost touching this bigger island, and at low tide it could be easily mistaken to be connected to the bigger island at the northern tip. The location of the mass was contentious. Originally, it was thought to be in the island of Limasawa in Leyte, but other historians argue that a mistranslation resulted to that error, and that the place should be in Butuan, the place where the Golden Tara was also discovered. The issue reached the Congress, which in 1996 directed the National Historical Institution to recommend a historical finding. The panel and the NHI reaffirmed in 1998 that the place is Limasawa.